The legend of the Rat Man had long haunted the alleys and abandoned corners of Detroit. Tales of a creature, part human, part rodent, lurking in the forgotten depths of the city's sewers had captured the imaginations of adventurous souls for decades. Some said it was a monstrous experiment gone wrong, others whispered of a curse that had befallen a wayward soul. Donald, a seasoned urban explorer with a hunger for the unknown, had always been drawn to the stories of the Rat Man. His girlfriend, Alice, shared his adventurous spirit, and together they delved into the forgotten corners of the city, seeking the truth behind the legends. One fateful evening, as the mist rolled in from the river, Donald gathered his gear, a sturdy flashlight, a map of the city's old sewer system, and a sense of determination that bordered on obsession. Alice, her eyes shining with excitement, joined him without hesitation. "We have to find it," Donald declared, his voice echoing through the empty streets. "The Rat Man. We have to know." But not everyone shared Donald's enthusiasm. Paige, his cautious sister, had heard enough of his wild tales. "This is madness, Donald," she warned, her brow furrowed with worry. "You're going to get yourself killed." Undeterred, Donald led the way, his footsteps echoing through the deserted streets of Detroit. They descended into the bowels of the city, the air thick with the musty scent of dampness and decay. Mark, the city historian with a fascination for the hidden history beneath the streets, guided them through the labyrinthine tunnels with a grim determination. As they ventured deeper, the darkness seemed to press in around them, suffocating and absolute. The walls dripped with moisture, and the distant sound of water echoed through the tunnels like the whispers of the dead. It was then that they heard it, the faint skittering of claws on concrete, the low, guttural growl that sent shivers down their spines. Alice's grip tightened on Donald's arm, her eyes wide with fear. "What was that?" she whispered, her voice barely a breath. But before anyone could respond, they caught a glimpse of movement in the shadows ahead, a hulking figure, silhouetted against the faint glow of their flashlight. The Rat Man. Donald's heart hammered in his chest as he stared at the creature before him, a grotesque fusion of man and rodent, its eyes gleaming with malevolence. Panic surged through him, but he held his ground, determined to protect Alice and Paige. As the Rat Man drew closer, its features twisted into a cruel parody of humanity. Donald could see the remnants of clothing hanging in tatters from its hunched form, and the stench of decay filled the air. "Paige," he whispered, his voice trembling. It's Dad." Paige's blood ran cold as she stared at the creature before them, once a loving father now transformed into a twisted abomination. Tears welled in her eyes as she realized the truth, her father, lost to the depths of the sewers, consumed by darkness and despair. In that moment, Donald understood the message of the Rat Man's legend: blood is thicker than water, binding family together even in the darkest of places. But sometimes, that bond can lead to unspeakable horrors, lurking in the hidden depths beneath the city streets. As they fled the tunnels, the echoes of the Rat Man's anguished cries followed them, a haunting reminder of the secrets that lay buried beneath Detroit's surface. And so, the legend of the Rat Man lived on, a cautionary tale of love twisted into something monstrous, waiting to ensnare those who dared to venture too deep into the sewers of Detroit. But for Donald, Alice, and Paige, the horrors they had witnessed were etched into their souls, a reminder that some mysteries are best left undisturbed, lest they awaken something dark and hungry in the shadows. As the years passed, the legend of the Rat Man faded from the whispers of Detroit's streets. But for those who had encountered the creature in the depths of the city's sewers, the memory lingered like a stain on their souls. Donald, haunted by visions of his father's twisted form, could never shake the feeling of guilt that gnawed at him. Alice, once fearless in the face of danger, now jumped at the slightest sound, her eyes haunted by the horrors she had witnessed. And Paige, poor Paige, could never forget the sight of her father, lost to the darkness below. She spent her days searching for answers, delving into the city's history in a desperate attempt to uncover the truth. But some secrets are buried deep, hidden in the shadows where the Rat Man still lurks, waiting for those foolish enough to seek him out. And so, dear reader, if you ever find yourself wandering the streets of Detroit on a misty evening, beware the call of the Rat Man's legend. for in the depths of the city's sewers, something ancient and hungry waits, waiting for its next unsuspecting victim.